Hey everybody, I'm here today to show you and tell you how to paint a fence with a paint sprayer. This will be a full tutorial, so let's get right into the video. So essentially, I'm going to be showing you how to paint the fence just like this with a paint sprayer just like this. Your fence might be taller, might be shorter, wider, it might be a different shape, but it's all going to be the same process. You might have a different type of paint sprayer, but it's all going to be the same process. The first thing that you want to do is make sure on the fence side over here, make sure that it's free of any debris. You want to make sure that it's basically as clean and dry as possible, because that'll give the paint the best chance to adhere to the fence to stay on for longer, okay? The next thing that you want to do is make sure that your paint sprayer or your paint gun is prepared and ready for use. In my case, I have the paint loaded up in there. You can probably see the coloration in there. I have all the settings tuned to the way that I want them to be tuned, and I have it plugged in properly so I know I'm good to go, okay? Now, before you comment on the angle of this fence, because you will notice that it's leaning, this is the fence in my backyard, and I am replacing it in just a few short weeks. So for this video, I'm just gonna be showing you how to paint it. But like I said, in a couple weeks, I'm taking it down and putting a new fence. So I'm just going to be using the same color that's already on there just as a demonstration. So I'm going to angle the camera downwards and I'm going to show you the process for painting a fence. Now, what you're seeing here is just a very typical type of fence, okay? Essentially, you're going to have some boards like this going vertically, most likely, or horizontally. You might have some lattice on the top, and you're probably going to have some additional pieces of wood that are not flush with those boards. Whether it's on one side or the other side, or in the middle of two sets of boards, you're probably going to have some additional pieces of wood just like this. So we're going to continue on. Sorry if you hear any, the air conditioners running, any cars in the background. There's a couple of cars ripping it around the neighborhood right now. I shouldn't say ripping it, but driving around the neighborhood, and there's the air conditioner on. So I'm just doing my best with the sound. So basically, and I'll raise my voice if I need to communicate more clearly if there's some additional noise. So basically, what you're going to start off by doing is you're going to focus on any of the panels that are going one direction. If you have horizontal panels, you're going to do this horizontally. If you have vertical panels, you're going to do this vertically. As you can see, my panels are vertical. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go the entire length of the fence, the entire height of the fence up and down. Okay, and I'm just going to demonstrate the first few feet. I'm not going to paint the whole thing just because I don't want you to have to waste your time watching me do the same thing over and over again. So essentially, you want to try and paint in the direction of the boards first, the entire width of the fence panels, just like this. Now, I'm going to move the cord out of the way. Now, if you'll notice, what I'm doing there, a little tip, is that when you go past the edge, you're going to release the lever to make the sprayer stop, because you don't want to be spraying into the air, and then continue going just over. Now, what you'll notice, what I'm doing right there is I'm overlapping a bit. So the first spray was, I don't know, probably about, I'd say like 6 inches wide. And when I moved over, I was overlapping by about 2 inches. You want to continue to overlap and continue doing that for the entire duration of the fence panel. I go panel by panel, okay? So I'm going to turn up the amount of material that's coming out of the sprayer right now. Just get a little bit more paint on the fence. We're going to continue on vertically in the same direction as the boards that you're painting, and we're doing the whole height or width, if you have horizontal boards, of the fence. Okay, now you're going to do your entire panel like that, okay? And you want to stay about 6 inches, maybe to 8 inches away from the fence when you are using the paint sprayer, okay? And it'll go really quickly. If you're not explaining it like me, you're going to be done really fast. Now, the next thing that you want to do, once you've done all of your panels in the same direction, you can see the coloration there. You can see basically where I stopped. The next thing that you want to do is you want to go in the other directions and address any other pieces of wood that are not completely flush. So in my case, I was going vertically, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to focus on the horizontals that I need to address. So right here, you can see this part of the wood, the top part here didn't get touched, because when I'm going like this, it's not addressing this piece right here. So I'm going to take my sprayer and I'm going to be going horizontally now along any pieces of wood that I did not spray at first, just like this. all right? So we now went and we did all of the horizontals, and the next thing that I want to address is the lattice. If you have lattice, it's going to take a little bit of extra work. I just noticed, I think I got a touch of paint on my shirt, so just, like I said, try and wear clothes that you're probably not going to want to wear ever again, or you don't mind if they get some paint on them. This is just an old shirt that I had, and it sprayed a little bit off the top, so just be cautious with what you wear. So the next thing that I want to address is the lattice, and I want to go horizontally along the lattice, because I already did vertically. I'm going to go horizontally now. Perfect. So now we've done the vertical boards, we've done all the horizontal angles, and now if you have a top, like a top part over there, you want to adjust that. And even if you didn't adjust the bottom yet, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adjust the top part right now, just like this. And essentially that's going to be, and you're going to do that panel by panel for the entire panel. That's going to be your first coat. And then you're going to let that dry, and you definitely want to do at least the second coat. Just for reference, what you see here was 3 coats of completely, not, what's the word I'm looking for? Not transparent stain, it's the opposite, like full stain. Like there's no transparency, but it is stain. 3 coats on this old fence that was peeling anyways. If I'd done this on a new fence, it would have looked phenomenal, but it was an old fence, it peeled off of it, and it's leaning, that's why we're replacing it. But essentially, just to give you an idea of the speed, I'm just gonna go a little bit further and show you how fast this painting goes when you have an air sprayer, a paint sprayer like this. So check this out. Horizontals. And then lattice. And then obviously you can go back and touch up any spots that you think you might have missed. So, you know, let's say I noticed that I would have missed this little spot over here. I could go ahead and I could address that. And that's basically it. And you don't want to forget about the upper, right? So the thing is, I was going always downwards. You don't want to forget that there's an underside here too. And if there's a little space between the boards that you need to address as well, don't forget about that. And that's basically it. You want to get the vast majority of the paint on the fence on your first coat. And then after that, with your second coat, and if you do a third coat, obviously you can get a little bit less paint and it'll be totally acceptable because you're just touching up any spots. But that's it. Get your paint sprayer controls in check. Make sure your fence is clear, and that's how to use a paint sprayer to spray paint, essentially to paint with spray style a fence. Yeah, and that's it. Like I said, just to let you understand about the lean, I am taking down this fence in a couple of weeks and redoing it. There's a retaining wall underneath. Behind my house, there's a big open area, and essentially that open area is a little bit lower than the fence, about 1.5 feet. So that's why it's leaning. It wasn't done properly to begin with, as far as I know, and I'm gonna correct it. So just before I see all the comments about the fence being leaning over and stuff, yeah, I'm taking care of it, don't worry. But that's it. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment, and of course be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.